This week, central bankers have spoken and gold is hurting. What are the charts telling us? Joining us now is Gary Wagner for Kitco's latest edition of Chart This. Gary, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure. My pleasure is always to be here.
So we heard Draghi and Yellen speak this week, and gold obviously hurting here. Do you think that the central bankers were the biggest weight on gold?
Well, I think we had a couple of issues at play really with gold. Of course, statements made by Janet Yellen when she spoke to the Senate on her semi-annual kind of conference with them, which went on up until Thursday. She just basically reiterated that there most probably will be a rate hike in this year, 2015. I think that much of that was really baked into the equation. So I don't think that that had a tremendous move, but it certainly kept any kind of upside potential really from moving gold to the upside. The real issue has been a return in strength of the dollar.
Right.
And when you have the dollar continuing to gain strength, as we've talked about before, it's really like a salmon swimming upstream. Even if you've got buying in the market, it's very difficult to compensate or overcome that strong dollar.
And we're going to take a closer look at the dollar in a second. So we saw the last chart showed that gold's still below that 50-day and 200-day moving average. If we look at the monthly chart now, what key levels are you eyeing for gold here?
Well, we have a critical support level. Of course, this week we saw gold break back below, 1155, and 1141 was tested. That's a key number. That's the lowest low that we've had in 2015. Below that was a point at around 1131. That was hit towards the last quarter of 2014. My sense is if that does not hold, we could see some real downside pressure in gold, possibly taking it as low as 1080, 1090, if in fact we break that critical point.
Gary, what are we seeing on the silver front? Is it the same story?
Well, what we're looking at is we pointed out that there was a real change in the way gold and silver move, where they tended to move very much in tandem. We noticed they kind of split apart a few weeks ago. What I have noticed this week is a return to silver acting in a more traditional stance vis-a-vis gold. And what I mean by that is silver tends to be, if you've got the precious metals moving higher on a given day, you get silver outperforming gold in terms of a percentage gain. Reciprocally, though, on down days, you have silver having a greater percentage drawdown on that given day. And we've seen a return to that. In terms of the key numbers, I'm looking at around $14.50 per ounce.
All right, Gary, you mentioned the U.S. dollar before. We're seeing investors turn to the U.S. dollar over gold. How long can this rally be sustained here? Well,
the way that I look at it is you have to look at basic financial liquidity theory, which basically states that money's going to go where the returns are the best. The idea of having gold as a safe haven asset is really kind of changing or molding over these last couple of years. The equities markets now are again flirting with those record highs. They are strong globally, except for China, which has had some severe bumps. And as long as we see the equities markets outperforming other investment vehicles, you're going to see a strong, consistent dollar. One. The second thing you want to look at is if the Fed does begin to hike the rates up, it's going to be very gradual, a quarter point at a time, but you'll see additional strength return to the dollar. So I think that we could easily see the dollar move back up to about 100 on the dollar index. And of course, the reciprocal, when we're looking at the euro dollar, that actually broke and tested 109 for the first time in a couple of months.
Good thoughts from you today, Gary. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure, and I want to wish all of our Chart This viewers a great weekend, and most importantly, prosperous trading and investing next week. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Absolutely. Have a great weekend, and stay tuned. Next week, we'll have a brand new edition of Chart This with Gary Wagner.